Did you know that morning watering is actually preferable to evening watering, as the plant has time to dry before the sun goes down? At night, the water tends to rest in the soil around the roots and on the foliage, even encourages root rot, fungal growth, and can attract insects. Yes, so today is Sunday, April 7th. I haven't been outside for a little while, guys, because I was down with the flu. But to God be the glory, great things He hath done. So I welcome all of you, my subscribers, likers, sharers, and commenters. This is the Glades Garden Girl over here in Zone 10A, Florida. Today, I want to talk a little about watering the garden. Can you all believe this? I was so ready to water the garden and the pipe is not even on. Yes, guys. Watering the garden is a must. It is responsible for several important functions within the plant tissues. Water is necessary for photosynthesis, which is how plants use energy from the sun to create their own food. It is required for a seed to sprout, and as the plant grows, water carries nutrients throughout the plant. A lack of water can have major impacts on plants, even if it is just for a few days. So evidently, it requires regular watering to maintain the green appearance and health of the garden, especially in hot and dry climates. On the other hand, container gardens have a smaller area and limited soil volume, which means they require less water overall. Now, here are some questions that I have asked myself in the past when I just started out with my gardening journey. How often should I water the garden? What is the best method of watering my garden? Is it okay if I water my garden every day? And how am I going to know if I'm overwatering or underwatering my garden? So right here I am watering a little part of my sweet potato bed, and the reason why I am using this method is because the sweet potatoes, they grow underground, and when I water the plant like this, a few of the leaves possibly can be damaged, but I mean, the food is on the ground. And the sheen over there that I'm watering now, it is a water lover, and I am watering that plant from the root. How will I know when it gets enough water? I will just water until my own voice said stop watering. So my volunteer tomato plant finally has some fruits on it. I want to go ahead now and demonstrate how I water this plant whenever I come out. All right, so with the full force of water on your water hose nozzle, you can point it directly to the base of the plant and water. All right, I am not going to water the plant from the top because I do not want the water to settle on the foliage, and it can actually cause disease and insects to settle on the plant, and then the plant might not thrive in the way how it is supposed to. Now, how do I know the amount of water that a plant needs? So the first thing to take into consideration is that all plants do not need the same amount of water. We must know our plants and know the nature of them Like, for example, a banana. I planted some bananas recently, and I can only remember watering those bananas like 1 or 2 times already. It's something that retains a lot of water in its trunk, so I don't necessarily have to water that plant like on a regular basis. Only if we are going through maybe a drought or something like that, I would consider watering the bananas. So I am about to check this container to see if the water has penetrated the soil, because on most occasions when I water some of my containers, the water might seem as if it is penetrating the soil, but when you move the soil, you realize that it's not even halfway through. So it is important that we have to check the soil whenever we are watering the containers. So this apple plant is a prime example of a plant that does not need a lot of water, because I have left it unwatered for a lot of days, even recently when I was feeling ill. And look at how it has put out new leaves. Maybe because of the fact that it is the container is mulch, I don't know. But honestly, I have really gone through some times when I hardly water the apple plant, and it's just growing. The only thing is that it's not growing as big and robust as how I want it to. So I am just going to continue watering it occasionally and watch how it is going to progress. And over here I have some jalapeno peppers. But let me show you something. I'm going to test this soil. All right, see here? All right, look at this. This soil is very moist, so I don't think I need to water these plants a lot, because there is still moisture in here. Maybe it is because of the location where it's at, and there's not a lot of sun that is actually coming in that area. There's nothing in this bin right now. It's very dry and I don't have to water it. These are my eggplants. And look, let me show you something, guys. See this? The soil, it is still moist, so I don't have to water those a lot. That is one of the way how you can test your soil to see if it needs water, because you do not want to overwater your plant, because overwatering the plant can actually, cause a lot of negative impact on the plants. The roots are the primary source for your plant's water, food, and intake of oxygen. While the roots of a plant take up water, they also need air to breathe. Overwatering the plant can drown the plants. Now, what are the symptoms or signs of overwatering a plant? Whenever you see your leaves turn brown and wilt, that is a sign of overwatering. So the water pressure begins to build up in the cells of the plants. When the roots absorb more water than they can use, the cells will eventually die and burst, forming blisters and areas that look like lesions. Once these blisters erupt, tan, brown, or white warts like growth begins to form in their place. You will also notice indentations forming directly around the growth on the top sides of your leaves. So take note of those, guys, and pay attention to your plant and ensure that you are not overwatering them. Now this area, I am lightly watering it with the shower part of my hose, because I just recently sowed some carrot seeds over here and I can see them from a distance that they're popping up. So guys, this is a question I'm pretty sure that most of us ask ourselves a lot of times. What about watering the garden when it is very, very hot? Now, during extreme hot weather, temperatures above 90 degrees and nighttime temperatures above 70 degrees Fahrenheit, try to water daily or every other day. In a 10 by 10 foot garden, this would mean giving your plants 8 to 9 gallons of water each day. How do I know if I'm giving my plants 8 to 9 gallons of water? Honestly, I do not know how to measure it. I will just water the plants until I know they have enough water to sustain them throughout the course of the day. So right now I am watering my cabbages over here. And what I normally do when I am watering this area, oops. I will just water until I know they have enough, as I said. So guys, as I have mentioned, using the water hose is not a typical way for me to water my garden. I normally use the watering jug to water my plants with rainwater. And this is how I would water a pepper plant with the water jug. I would water from the base of the plant. And I would have to check, of course, to see if this plant needs water. And they don't need any water because the soil is very moist. The mulching here that I used, it has kept the soil moist for some time now. And over in here, I have 2 cabbages and some dasheen, callaloo, and I think I have some chickpeas over in there. And I also took out my ginger and planted them over here. But I will not be watering this area today because the ginger does not love a lot of water. I might be checking on the cucumber. But let me just go ahead and show you how I would water this area that has some amaranth seedlings. I should have transplanted these already, but I didn't get the chance to do so. All right, so if I'm going to water an area like this, I would use the mist, right? And I would aim it for the roots or overhead and just mist it lightly. As you can see, the plants, they are still standing. They are not falling over or anything. So this is one way how you can do it. Or you can use a small watering jug to water the plants like this. And this area does not need any watering, trust me. The lid of this container is at the bottom. That has extra water to retain moisture in the container. If you're watering a plant that has new fruits on them, I personally refrain from watering the plant with the full speed of the hose from the top, because it can actually take off the baby fruits that you have on the plant. So it is best for us to water those plants from the roots like this. Or you can actually use the mist, which is this one. The mist will not hit off the fruits from the plant. So that is the one I would recommend. Now there are other methods of watering the garden, such as using a drip irrigation or a sprinkler. I read that the sprinkler should be set for about 30 to 35 minutes at a time for twice per week. And the irrigation system, I think that is automatic. I've never used one. I'm actually planning on using one in the future. So if you guys have ever used any of these methods, either your water hose, a drip irrigation, watering jug, the sprinkler, go ahead and comment down below and let me know how effective it was for you using that particular method to water your garden. Right now I am just browsing and watering every single thing with a light shower on my hose. So just continue watching, enjoy the scenery and what you are going to see until the end of the video. I really appreciate you coming along with me to water my garden using this method, which is not my original method, of course, but I mean, watering the garden is very time consuming, and using the water hose, yeah, can expedite the process at times.